Tzu Chi scholarship recipients help out at Tzu Chi's winter aid distribution in Gansu. We meet a CGK recipient who has turned over a new leaf on to become a Tzu Cheng. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Su. Thank you for joining us. In China, Tzu Chi held a winter aid distribution in Gansu's Jingyuan County for 170 scholarship recipients. Volunteers gave out supplies such as rice, blankets, and winter clothing. Inspired by the spirit of volunteers, students who have received help from Tzu Chi also helped out.
Braving the low temperature of -10 degrees Celsius, everyone works together to move the supplies.
现在都是加长的，要注意它的那个，对，南加长跟南加长放一起。
In addition to local Tzu Chi volunteers and residents, volunteers from Shanxi, Sichuan, Xinjiang, and Taiwan also came to help. Every detail of the preparatory work was done before the distribution got underway.
Place the towel in the back of the bag so that they won't feel uncomfortable when they carry it on their back. Just follow this principle.
Since 2016, Tzu Chi has begun a scholarship program in Jingyuan County. This time, Tzu Chi held the distribution for 117 scholarship recipients. Students who have received help also joined the volunteers to serve at the distribution.
Tzu Chi brothers and sisters have given us inspiration. After frequent contact with them, we have developed the spirit of selfless giving.
I feel grateful for participating in so many activities. I feel my life has become broader.
Volunteers give us rice, blankets, winter clothing, and cooking oil, hoping to keep recipients physically and mentally warm. The tea ceremony is held to encourage students to express their love to their parents, as well as fulfill their filial duties in time.
As your daughter, I have never said thanks to you. Today, it is Tzu Chi that gives me this opportunity.
Because of us, my elder sister had learned to take care of us and cook for us in her childhood. Because of us, she had no choice but to drop out of school to help the family, and this is not fair to anyone, but she has never complained about this.
妈，我爱你。妈妈说我也爱你。好，感恩。
According to statistics, there are about 50,000 migrant workers from Vietnam in New Taipei City. New Taipei City government has hosted a Lunar New Year event for them in the 8th consecutive year. At the occasion, Taiwan Northern Taiwan chapter also hosted a free clinic to safeguard their health.
The ophthalmologists are giving eye exams and carefully teaching the patient how to use the eye drops.
Sometimes when I look afar, it's blurry and I can't see clearly.
Tima here can give her presbyopic glasses right away so she can use it when she's reading something closely.
New Taipei City Government and Taiwan Northern Taiwan chapter hosted a welcoming New Year event for Vietnamese migrant workers. The free clinic provides medical services ranging from ophthalmology to Chinese medicine, serving nearly 100 people.
Many of them are migrant workers and they don't have many vacations on top of their hard work. So we use this weekend to host these events and they'll hurry to come.
My back feels painful, so I'm seeing this Chinese medicine doctor today, and it feels much better after the acupuncture.
I feel this event extremely nice and helps the foreign workers greatly. I'm very honored to bring 5 foreign worker friends here today.
The migrant workers are now having a clear eyesight and have soothed their body pain. The volunteers hope all the foreign workers in Taiwan can embrace a healthy new year.
Taiwan Northern Taiwan chapter holds free clinics in Gongliao every 2 months. This year, the first visit started in rain, but the smiles of elderly people warmed the doctors' hearts.
The doctor comes to the temple to provide free clinics, and the elders in the village have registered automatically. Most of them are over 90 years old, and one is an 103-year-old centenarian.
Can I shake hands with you? I've never shaken hands with 103-year-old elder before. I'm not washing my hands today.
Longdong is said to be the village of longevity in northern Taiwan, and Tima Northern Taiwan chapter is the guardian angel of the elders.
The free clinic is a great help for these elders because they don't want to bother their son and daughter-in-law to go to doctors in Taipei. So when you all come, they will all gather here.
This year's first free clinic in Gonglao started in a drizzling and chilly weather. Other than a fixed spot, there are 7 other routes to visit. The grandma expects to see these family members the most.
This is like my own daughter. She often calls to check how I'm doing.
The medical team considers that the patients are all elders, therefore they deliberately remind them of the medication usage details and teach them to do rehabilitation exercise. The ophthalmologist even draws pictures to explain to the elders why they need to take examinations earlier.
It's too late when you found something, so I suggested they take the chance of the free clinic to communicate and get in touch with the doctors so we can give them medical advices.
Whether it's at the fixed location or the home visits, the medical team and volunteers spread their love and care in every little corner of the remote village.
Many people like to drink ginger tea to warm up in the cold weather because it can improve blood circulation. However, a nutritionist suggests that one should not cook ginger tea for more than half an hour and limit the amount of sugar.
Ginger is ubiquitous in many home-cooked meals, and this mother is purchasing more in the market.
You must check the bottom. If the color appears to be white or yellow, then it's good. Also, if it's bitten by some bugs, then you don't need to worry that if it's got a lot of pesticide on it.
I often cook ginger tea for my daughter when she has her periods because it eases her pain.
The aged ginger is spicier and has a stronger flavor, which is good for making ginger tea.
We can drink ginger tea to get rid of the coldness and keep our body warm.
Ginger can make us sweat and heat us up, as well as improve blood circulation because it has gingerol and shogo in it.
Gingerol and shogo will evaporate after half an hour. Afterward, we will only taste the spiciness mostly.
There are a few things to keep in mind when making a ginger tea. Is to limit the cooking time within 30 minutes, and people who has weak stomach should not drink too much. Also limit the sugar usage. A 50-year-old woman has diabetes, just added too much sugar in her ginger tea daily, and it turned out to hurt her health.
She drinks more than 500 cc of ginger tea every day, so her glycated hemoglobin rises from 6 to 7. If it keeps stay above 7, it will cause some neuron or retina illness or limb numbness.
There's also a secret function of ginger tea, which is to help stopping the urge to vomit.
I used to drink it during cold weather and it warms me up. But after I got pregnant, I heard that my body will become more dry and heated, and the body temperature of a pregnant woman is already higher, so I stopped drinking it.
In the early stage of pregnancy, ginger tea can help to stop the urge to vomit. However, in the later stage, the pregnant woman needs to be aware of the body's change.
怀孕4到12周的这个时候呢，缓解这些恶心呕吐的症状。
During the 4 to 12 weeks of pregnancy, ginger tea can help to ease some symptoms. But at the later stage, pregnant woman's body will become more heated and dry, so they'll get thirsty easily. If you drink ginger tea at this time, it'll make your body more heated and more uncomfortable.
茹素的话就是说我们葱啦、蒜啦
We are vegetarian, so we don't eat onions and garlic, so ginger is our only spice. Therefore, it's very important to me.
Aged ginger is good for tea, but the younger ginger is better for cooking stir-fry dishes. One can cut it into slices and stir-fry with other foods, and there you have a delicious dish ready to serve.
As Lunar New Year approaches, Tzu Chi volunteers in Datong District, Taipei, prepared relief goods and gave them to solitary seniors. Volunteer Hong Bingyan and her mother came together to help pack them. Let's take a look.
The volunteers in Datong District came to pack up goods for the elderly. The elderly care for the elderly. Hong Bingyan came with her mother to do good deeds and to practice filial piety.
When I was young, I'd seen my parents working quite hard, so I thought to myself that if I had the chance, I'll practice filial piety to them. Finally, I've done it.
These heavy bags are Tzu Chi's love to the solitary elderly people. The volunteers bring them from door to door. Wu Jingting will graduate from the junior high school this year, and he also came along to give help.
It wasn't easy to prepare these bags, but I felt that if I could bring them to them and see them smile, I'd feel very happy.
His family has received help since he was little, so he fully understands the importance of this act of love. Now he can pay this love forward and help other people in need.
In Jiayi of Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers held Tzu Chi's year-end blessing ceremony for the public. At the occasion, they invited the participants to take tour buses so they could reduce carbon emissions. In addition, some on-stage volunteers also performed a sutra adaptation.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Jiayi hold a year-end blessing ceremony and hire tour buses to bring people to the venue so they can reduce carbon footprint. 64 on-stage volunteers use sign language to display a chapter in the Sutra of Innumerable Meanings. And Li Tianyi seems outstanding because she is a young performer in the group.
The performance can train my patience, and I can become more polite because I must talk to these senior volunteers, but I have also learned some principles from their words and deeds.
Zheng Defu also learns from senior volunteers.
Every time my mom finished doing recycling, she would be sweating all over, but she also smiled. So I became curious about recycling in Tzu Chi and wanted to learn more about it.
After he joined his mother in doing recycling, he has become a Tzu Chi volunteer. And doing good deeds has also become his family instruction. They hope the year-end blessing ceremony can extend the instruction to become community treasure, and more people can come together to do good deeds.
In our next report, we'll meet a CGK recipient who has turned over a new leaf. In Zhanghua, Mr. Huang used to have some bad habits because he faces heavy financial burdens of his family. In addition, both his wife and son have mental illnesses. After joining Tzu Chi, he has gotten rid of bad habits and now hopes to become a Tzu Cheng.
When I first came here, I felt it's very smelly and dirty, so I didn't really want to come. But seeing the brothers and sisters working joyfully despite the cold weather, I thought that I want to be like them. If they can do it, I must put more effort into it.
Having a grateful heart is what forces him to move forward.
When I was going through the harsh winter of my life, the great love from Tzu Chi brothers and sisters were like a bright sun that lights up my life and made me feel very warm.
Now Mr. Huang has quit all his bad habits and started to reciprocate Tzu Chi's assistance.
I don't want to touch any of those bad habits in the past, like smoking, drinking alcohol, and chewing betel nuts.
He has gotten rid of some of his bad habits and he wants to change himself 100%. So we feel that we should encourage his strong determination.
Now he wakes up early to listen to the Master's morning sermons.
This is my house. Now I live with my uncle because my child is sick and is staying in a recovery home. My wife is mentally ill and I am unable to take care of her, so she lives with her family.
He started studying in another city and needs to rent a house outside the campus. Mr. Huang has to shoulder the financial burden for the entire family.
I've been donating money for about 5 years, although $7 is not much because my financial situation is not well, but even that $7 I saved up can help someone in need.
Mr. Huang not only insisted to do the right thing, he has also made a decision.
I'm going to pass the Tzu Chi aid funding to others because I can make my own living and I don't want to rely on others.
Turning from a receiver to a giver, he has a wish.
I saw that they wear the suit in memorial service or every event in Jingyuan Hall, so I want to be just like them.
Mr. Huang dreams of wearing the Tzu Cheng uniform and walk the Buddhist Dava path.
In Nantou, Taiwan lives a Tzu Chi volunteer Wu Ji-dai, who used to have some bad habits since her family planted and sold betel nuts for a living. In the aftermath of the 9/1 earthquake, she received help from Tzu Chi, and out of gratitude, she started a new chapter of her life.
This place was the betel nut farm. I've chopped all this down.
Giving up 3 hectares of betel nut farm and a chance to make easy money, Wu Ji-dai has no regrets. She's grateful that Tzu Chi helped her in the aftermath of 9/1 earthquake, so she could start a new chapter of her life.
After I joined Tzu Chi, I've learned from others and totally changed.
She had bad habits. When she talked, she was very rude.
Learning to humble herself and talk gently, Wu Ji-dai has totally changed.
When I was about to get angry, I thought of Jinsu aphorisms and calmed myself down. The master has said that after we pretend for a while, we will get used to it. I've really changed a lot.
Wu said that since her family sold betel nuts for a living, she learned to chew betel nuts and drink alcohol since she was 13.
To wrap the betel nuts, we had to try chewing it to know its taste. Therefore, we tried chewing it.
Getting rid of her bad habits and starting a new chapter of her life, Wu has turned over a new leaf.
The success of e-commerce in China is partly made possible by the ease of mobile electronic payments. Since the 1990s, China's online financial industry began to develop at the same time as e-commerce. In 2003, Alibaba's Taobao was established and Alipay emerged. From then on, various third-party payment providers were established one after another. Here is our in-depth report.
This is the world's first restaurant to use a facial recognition system to transact payments. It takes less than 30 seconds from the time you confirm your identity to the completion of payment.
The instructions on how to pay and order are outside this restaurant as customers follow the instructions as they don't have to pull out their wallet.
They have already scanned my face before, and this lets them have a record of me. You only need to do it once and then input your cell phone number, and you can use this system.
The kitchen, meanwhile, simultaneously receives the order. This well-known fast food restaurant is cooperating with a Chinese third-party mobile payment operator to launch facial recognition payments in September, and not only set a new standard for mobile payments, but also highlighted their importance and integration into daily life.
Even children can do it. Most kids can take a phone and make these payments.
Taiwanese internet celebrities Champion and Super Awesome even came here to observe China's mobile payment system in action.
I don't have to bring money or cash. If this was available in Taiwan, I would definitely do it.
You don't take a lot of cash to go out. Technology is making things much more convenient, which I admire very much.
China's mobile payments and e-commerce industry have developed together. Since the 1990s, the development of online financial industry came along with the rise of e-commerce. In 2003, Alibaba's Taobao website was established and many third-party payment operators were established.
Some farmers don't even understand credit cards or this so-called plastic money, and now they jump right into this era.
Nia says that economic development in China has led to this transitional period, leading to advancements in money and finance. As of 2016, there are over 250 third-party payment agencies in China, with a transaction volume of $5.75 trillion US. However, mainland authorities this year have devised ways to regulate and control third-party payment providers. As a result, more than a dozen businesses have already reportedly closed.
Earlier, I said that China developed very fast, but they did not consider the risk involved. If you wanted it to consider all of the risk, you would move a lot slower, and Taiwan is one such example.
Taiwan has relatively stricter controls over the internet banking system. This senior year student at Shixin University has already started an e-commerce business with his classmate, but almost immediately encountered problems.
I would say that the flow of funds is our biggest problem, as we're trying to cut costs. But cooperating with banks comes with a lot of fees and higher costs.
These two classmates encounter many challenges as young entrepreneurs. Their problem also reflects the fact that they have different opinions, which may be due to the fact that one is from Macau and one is from Taiwan.
I think that I am more afraid of things that I do not know. For example, I knew that I wanted to set up an online shop for more than 6 months, but this has continually been put on the shelf.
I think that we should become more independent and just make our own decisions. I don't need to ask my parents for permission to do things.
The differences between these two students can actually highlight cross-strait attitudes towards e-commerce, where education and background may be influencing different cultural groups. However, these differences can be a strength, as future cooperation may lead them to actually complement each other as they work together in this highly competitive e-commerce field.
Rain or shine, Thai Power employees must maintain the nation's power supply, so their training is important. On this day, Thai Power held a technical skill competition, and it was attended by 967 people, 45 of them being women.
When the competition begins, they must climb up the tower and replace the fiber cable, but the first step is to watch out their own safety. Thai Power hosts this technical skill competition with many challenges, but it is not for men only. The power cable must be handmade because it concerns the quality of electricity transmission. Women's sensitivities to details becomes their merit on this aspect.
We women are attentive to details, have more endurance, and don't give up easily.
Despite the band-aids on her fingers, she never stops practicing so she can improve her skills. Even her Meng Yun's father could not believe that his daughter with a college degree in foreign languages would be accepted by the Thai Power.
I didn't tell him until I got accepted that I would need to climb the power poles. He said, "Are you going?" I said, "Yeah, don't worry. Some people may say I can't do it, I can't make it, but then I feel I want to try it."
She practiced her skills every day to challenge herself. The competition shows that Thai Power employees are determined in overcoming difficulties.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Taisan district of New Taipei City held a gathering to thank the recycling volunteers who serve at Tzu Chi黎明 recycling station. Despite their old age, many of the elderly recycling volunteers do recycling with joy. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.